I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Happy Friday, pal. Welcome to NHL Puck Props. I'm here. I'm struggling with bandwidth again. It's so frustrating. Reset. Tabs are closed.
I've been dealing with the same issues. I've been doing the same issues the last few days. I don't know if it's this area, but something with bandwidth is really driving me insane with my unit that connects to my radio show. I get it. I hear it.
So I know you're off. You're off today. Was that because of that?
Yeah, I couldn't take the chance. I couldn't take the chance of me sounding robotic on the air, so I've got cable company coming by today.
Holy crap! Like that's serious, bro. That's nuts. I didn't know. Like maybe it's Rogers like trying to scrape together some money for Rose for some pitching.
I don't know. I was thinking about going in, but I got in late last night because I did the Habs with Jakub Dobish, who's the next Patrick Waugh, winning again against Dallas. And I got home late, so I'm like, I'm not doing the drive in and then drive back early in the morning. So I just took the day off.
Attaboy. Put it in Matty Cause's hands. He's in good shape.
Well, I mean, I just tried testing my unit again today, and it still went all robot-y.
Go ahead and test that unit, bud. What a guy. What a guy. So, NHL Puck Prop presented by Sports Interaction. Good to see the pumpers there. The Eklund point, we got to get into it. Appreciate it, Darren. Best intro music. 20. I don't know how you got 26 units. There were a bunch of stacks. We didn't pop them out, but like there were a ton. There were a ton last night.
Well, when there's 15 games on the slate.
It's so dumb. 2 again today. 15. Everybody plays tomorrow. It went 13-2, 13-2, 15. That is ridiculous.
Not so. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, especially. So, if you didn't notice, we had the Celebrini, Eklund, Toffoli stack. They had one goal. It was originally called a goal with all assists, so it's stacked in one goal. And then they took away an assist.
The Eklund assist? Was it appropriate to take away the assist? Like, I didn't see the highlight. Did he actually touch it?
It was difficult to see because it was a play on the boards, closest to the camera, so you couldn't see it. It looked like he passed it over to Celebrini, who passed it to Toffoli in front of the net, but it could have been the defender who poked it. I always assume that they look at it and they're like, yeah, that's right. He didn't touch it. Like, it's not like there's a conspiracy, but it does suck. Usually it doesn't go like that. And they erased it like a full 20 minutes later, in between, like not even in between intermissions. Like it happened in the second period and they erased it in the third period.
Wow.
Who earns?
That sucks, buddy.
Yeah, it did. I know there's a lot of people who were having a big night. Like it was a swing. It was a difference between a slight loss on the day or a pretty decent day in winning. So I know a lot of people are feeling that. So that one sucks. Yeah, Toffoli, Eklund, Celebrini paying your internet bill. I hope so. Still waiting for him to take it out of my account, but Darren Folks say crap. I just see that now. Thought I won that one. Nope.
Oh no.
I know.
That's a tough way to hear that you lost.
Yeah, that is a very tough way. Because I was counting money yesterday until I wasn't counting money. Then I stacked everything in the late games and missed a Trocheck point for a stack. Missed Arturi Lehkonen point for a stack. Yuck. But there were some other ones. I mean, the Seattle stack was there. The Capo Caco line, big stack there. There were some good ones out there. And today will be interesting. So before we get to it, like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Hit that like. If you're watching live, hit that like button. Subscribe, obviously. If you're watching this later in the day, do the same thing. It's not difficult. Just do it. And spread the love of the show. Get those likes up. Get those numbers up. Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Interesting game. I'll drop the 3 plays here, and then I'll get your thoughts on Pittsburgh, and then I'll go the rundown on the information on this game. So we're going to go Cousins and Tuck for a point at plus 275, which is the easier one because Buffalo's coming off a win, so the line should stay the same. We saw McLeod jump up to center 1, and these guys correlate second power play. And then an interesting one on the Pittsburgh side, Matt Grzelcyk, power play point plus 550.
What?
He was the QB on PP1, and they put Letang and Carlson on PP2 with Gino.
Interesting. Against the Sabres.
Very. I know. So, and then I'm going to go, and then that's a half unit. And then I'm going to go the assist for a half unit too. So if I hit 1, it's profitable. But my question to you before we get into it, Pittsburgh's been outscored 14-4 of their little 3-game losing streak. They're 2-8 straight up since the Xmas break. They're 0-5 straight up in their last 5 road games, and they're plus 850 to make the playoffs. That is
who Pittsburgh is?
Yeah, I thought I didn't think it'd be 850 when I looked at it today.
You like it?
No, but
Oh,
like that's a giant number.
Yeah.
So that's my question to you. Like the books are saying that these guys are done.
Yeah.
But with what we're seeing in the standings in the East, are they done? Are they maybe a fired coach away from a Detroit run? No.
They're not a fired coach away. They lack talent, man. I mean, that's why for a number of months, people have been asking for Crosby to be traded because there's just no hope in sight for this group. Aside from Crosby, maybe Rust, Malkin. I mean, who's a game breaker in this lineup?
Philip Tomasimo.
Michael Bunting. Like they're just a bad roster, I think.
Anthony Beauvillier's 14th team in 3 years. Yeah.
O'Connor. I don't know. And then now they just got rid of their goaltender in Jari, right? I mean, I think you're right. Nedeljkovic to a playoff.
They're both Blomqvist and Nedeljkovic are both awful goaltenders, and statistically.
Yeah, so I think the book's got it right. I don't think anybody would put money on that. And if you do, you're dumb.
Yeah. As Pete says, Detroit is pretty money with the Larkin Raymond cat came to Brinkett. Yeah, that was one of the few ones we nailed yesterday. What else we got there in the chat?
Okay, let me ask you this.
Came to Brinkett is the most profitable thing, and it was plus 200 yesterday, which was insane. And I think it's hit in 8 of the last 9 games. Go ahead.
So I'm not sure if these are updated. I can't trust the NHL. They never update their standings the day after. So let me just open it up on my phone. Okay. So the Pittsburgh Penguins have 44 points.
Yep.
The second wild card team is the Boston Bruins. They have 49 points. There are 5 teams between the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yep.
The Rangers leapfrog the Penguins. Like as bad as we've been talking about the Rangers, they're only 4 points out of a playoff spot. Okay. And then you got the Flyers, the Flyers are the Flyers. They just grind their way there. Detroit's found a new identity under Todd McClellan. Montreal is the hottest team in the league. The Ottawa Senators looks like
Leavey Marilinen, bud. Jeez.
Marilinen.
Yeah.
You look like they found a goal. So of those teams I just mentioned, who is Pittsburgh jumping ahead of?
Detroit's going to cool down. Detroit's going to cool down. Montreal is not going to be at that pace. Ottawa,
and I didn't even mention the Columbus Blue Jackets, who sit in the first wild card spot.
We're just assuming they're going to fall.
Yeah, well, it happens when you assume, right?
Yeah. You look stupid.
You don't know the ass of.
Yes, I know it. I hate it. I wasn't even gonna feed into it. But no, it is interesting. But I didn't think it'd be as long as 850. But they also have like 46 games played. The Rangers have 2 games in hand. Philadelphia is coached by the Mike Tomlin of hockey, where it's just like we'll never finish in the bottom, but we'll finish 12, 13, 14. Yeah. Ottawa can only win with goaltending. I've realized that they're certainly not scoring their way out of games, so they're a tough team to do anything with offensively. But let's run down some things on this Pittsburgh-Buffalo game. Buffalo sitting as a minus 130 favorite. Interesting. The total's gone from 6 to 6.5 at most places. Likely UPL versus Nedeljkovic. UPL coming off a good game, almost had the shutout, but didn't. Ned was pulled in his last start. He has a 383 goals against and an 884 save percentage. Blomqvist is 1-4 straight up in his last 5 with a 410 goals against. Pittsburgh's goaltending's just been awful. Jari was probably their best goalie, and they waived him. 30th in goals against over the last 30 days. We see Ryan McLeod move up to center 1 between Zucker and Thompson. And that Thompson-Zucker stack is plus 150. Cousins-Tuck is plus 275. But if you get real cheeky, which I know the pumpers really like to do, add Peterka to that second line, and that Buffalo second line is plus 475 for everyone to get a point. It doesn't correlate on PP1, but I like it in terms of this matchup versus Pittsburgh where they can score 4 or 5 goals. Easy, Josh. Habs are on a historic run. Hey, I like it. For the franchise, it's great, right? You got to call the run in Lane Hudson.
It's been fun to cover for me.
Good thing I nailed that Willie Nylander under 0.5 points yesterday. Didn't even get to that. And then I shit on the Islanders, and they finally scored a power play goal.
Yeah.
And Noah Dobson got a point too. But we were right on Bennett. Detroit absolutely cruised. We got that Detroit team total over 2.5 yesterday, Carlo. It closed at like plus 140. We got it at even money. It went up 40 points.
How?
Florida, as we see in the chat's always on it. Florida, most overrated team in terms of how the market projects them. And another team we see today in Carolina. Bob's 4 goals, 15 shots. Yeah, Spencer Knight's been the better goalie. Anyone you want to shit on today? Thank you, Kay. That's a good question. Yeah, we can break out some slumps if I shit on them. We'll see who goes. My shitting on today would probably be Carolina, and I'm struggling to find anything in terms of a play in there, but that's kind of the rundown I got in this Buffalo-Pittsburgh game. I like goals. I think there's some stacking opportunities. I don't think you're going to find any value, Rust, Raquel, and Crosby, because it's way underpriced. And Buffalo's been playing good, but I'm scared to do anything with Buffalo because we saw them the other day getting a ton of shots in a tough matchup versus Carolina. I think they had 24 in the first 2 periods and then 0 in the second. So, like, can that be part of your defensive strategy in terms of like sitting on a multi-goal lead and Lindy Ruff's being like, we're just be responsible in your own end and don't do anything with the puck?
Yeah, but how much has that worked for Buffalo this year? Right? Like,
but they've done it. They've done it multiple years. They've just tried to hang on to wins in the third period. That's been their MO.
Yeah. I don't know. I always believe that playing safe is like death. Like, there's a term in hockey saying safe is death, because it's almost like you're preparing for the worst to happen. So for Buffalo, look, people ask what they got to do in Buffalo. Well, there's a culture there of losing being acceptable, because there's never any changes. Players don't know. Players that have grown up in that organization, all they've done is lose. So you've got to find a way to get these guys to believe they can win. And believing they can win is playing like you can believe you can win, not sitting back and trying to defend. If you're going to get guys to sit back and try to defend, well, then put guys that are good defenders on the ice. And they don't have that.
But now you're seeing guys who kind of weren't always in the system leading the way. Young guys like Quinn, guys like Ryan McLeod, who's found his way up to the first line.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Buffalo, I'm not reaching out for Buffalo at minus 130, but I do like goals in this game.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good bet, or a pretty good, assumption for sure.
Yep. All right. The next game, I have zero clue, and there's some quotes here trying to figure out what will happen. Vegas, Carolina, both teams coming off losses. Carolina minus 150, over under sitting at 6. I wanted Shane Goss to spare over 2.5 shots at plus 195. That's a giant number, but Vegas is the worst shot on goal matchup in hockey. They allow like 23 shots per goal per game over the last 30. It's a really difficult matchup. But I think there's some value on Gostisbehere there. If someone's looking for some sniffs there, that's it. He's been shooting a lot. He's back on PP1, and I think he finished with 5 shots versus Buffalo.
Well, I think the goalie matchup favors
Vegas?
like Vegas at plus money. I think Vegas,
and that was my other lean. Yeah.
like Vegas got dummied by Nashville the other night. I mean, Vegas is one of those quiet teams that nobody really pays much attention to, but then when you look where they are in the standings, they're one of the top teams in the league.
Yes.
So if you're a top team in the league, I mean, you'd have to think there'd have to be some sort of response from them, right? I think the value here is Vegas plus 130.
But then if that's the same thing, wouldn't you expect a response from Carolina after the Buffalo game?
Yeah, that's true. That's
But
true.
I like Vegas. I like Vegas better now. And that's here I am going to shit on Carolina. I think as Florida, they're the most overrated team right now, too. Their number 2 line getting the most minutes 5-on-5, centered by Jordan Staal. Again, I'm not taking away from him, but like that's probably your third line guy who should be playing somewhere around 6 to 7 to 8 minutes 5-on-5, not maybe 10 minutes is what he's doing.
Yeah.
First of a back-to-back. Vegas got Chicago tomorrow. Thank you very much, Austin Matthews. Hairline. Now he got me spinning about athletic hairlines.
Where do you see that?
Austin Matthews Hairline.
Oh, the name of the person.
And we've talked about it on air before. You're blessed with a great hairline, wearing a bucket your entire professional career.
I don't know. Great.
No,
hairline.
You're good. You're in great shape. You're in great
thick
shape.
hair.
Nah, your hairline's
I'd rather be straight here instead of like Dracula.
Worst lid all time. Ally Afraidy, yes or no? You got something worse than Ally Afraidy?
I'm just trying to think back in my career. Guys that just kept trying to hang on.
Brock Bowers is a good one too.
Brock Bowers?
Have you seen Brock Bowers' hairline?
Like the football player Brock Bowers?
Yeah, like the rookie 20-year-old. Producer Mick, bring up Brock Bowers' hairline when he's in the locker room. That picture. Yeah. It's
a former teammate of mine who had
boom. Look at that
hair. Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of former teammates of mine that had him.
Ally Afraidy, if you can, Mick, while he's talking there.
Matt Stajan and Kevin Shattenkirk.
Stage had a bad one, but his rookie picture with those frosted tips is like it looking good. I know,
but it went thin really fast up top. And now
but
he's gone full salad rebuild.
Bobby Newport says Brock Bowers looks like my dad. I'm 38. Russian, just shave it. Absolutely. And I got one more year of getting it going. Here I go. So I was thinking about in this game, Kochetkov good at home, and I don't know, could it be Tokarski again? I think he gave up a goal on his first shot. There's a lot in this game, and it's kind of like what we were talking about on Wednesday, where we need some information before we make some bets in this game.
Right.
The squarest double-double is Eichelstone, Aho, and Jarvis at plus 320. But Aho and Jarvis have been no-shows. And I know that because I'm losing money betting on them. and I'm effing tired of seeing Jordan Stahl's name and Jordan Martinook's name as the goal scorers compared to anybody on that top line. But this is what scares me. I mean, Carolina is a sub 500 team. The truth is they're a sub 500 team over the last 30 days. They're 7-8 straight up with a +2 goal differential. And they have the number 30 power play. So there you go. Shitting on Carolina. They'll score a power play goal tonight. Get your tickets ready.
Yeah, for sure.
Gostisbehere's back on that PP1. And here's the thing about the Golden Knights. They finally got Jack Eichel back, which was their first game. So they had a bunch of line juggling to do. They still scored 3 goals, but they gave up 5 goals uncharacteristically. Don't know who will be in net. It'll be interesting to see, but this is what we got from Cassidy. What's the quote? But there's nothing that's cemented into place when referred to putting together line combinations that might work best. He says you'll probably see that move a little bit. It helps you balance your lines and your minutes. So I really don't know where the lines are going because I liked the second line for Vegas today versus Carolina versus Kochetkov or Tokarski. Didn't bother me either one. And there were some big prices on it because it's, as I wait to bring it up, because I think Barbashev's on the top line, Victor Olofsson, Tomas Hertl, and Pavel Dorofeyev is the second line. And all of those guys have point markets. A lot of them are in the plus money range. I think it's plus 750 area for all three. And Hertl and Dorofeyev correlate on power play 1, and it's Olofsson on power play 2. So if you really wanted to do it, it would just be Hertl and Dorofeyev would be the 2 stacks on that game as I look here at that line. But the best thing you can do is better. Get some information, learn from that information, and that today is telling me to wait to see what Cassidy does with these lines.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you won't know. And then
Dorofeyev, power play point, Andre Sanchez is suggesting.
And that's it. So the crappy thing here is not all the beat reporters will give you, and I don't know if they're going to have an optional skate today because they have back-to-back games. Is that something you would have?
No.
When do you have optional skates? It's just the coach just throws it out there?
Yeah, it depends. Like some coaches are superstitious, right? I mean, if they didn't skate the last game, they'll probably say optional skate this game. It all depends on, the stretch that the players are on with their schedule, 3 games in 4 nights, travel, how they felt yesterday. It's about managing energy, right?
Yeah.
And I know, like, there was players on certain teams that I played on that hated pregame skate because they're like, it's such a waste of energy. Especially when coaches would run like practices. They'd run like practices for those pregame skates. And I'm like, you guys have totally like taken advantage of this whole pregame skate thing. It's not a practice. It's a skate just to go out and get loose and, get a little bit of a sweat, get the blood flowing, feel good about yourself, play with the puck. I don't want to go to a pregame skate and get yelled at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel like I'm tired coming out of a pregame skate. And some coaches used to take advantage of that. And I think that's why you probably see optionals where the coach just has a good gauge on what his players want and need.
Chat bringing up Carolina, good home team. Yes, traditionally, they've been maybe the best home team in hockey over the last half decade. But I think that's being priced into everything. And I don't think they are. And I think that's why we're finding value on the other side where you're like, I like Vegas here. I mean, in their last home games, just look at it. 2-3 overtime loss to Anaheim. They beat Vancouver 2-0. Vancouver's an absolute dumpster fire right now. They beat Toronto, but they gave up 3 goals at home. They gave up 3 goals, 1 in overtime, Pittsburgh at home. They lost 4-0 to Minnesota, who's decimated. Right? Like they've given up goals at home recently. Like I said, that last 30-day stretch where they're 7-8 straight up includes a lot of home games.
Yeah. No, for sure. Makes a good point, but I'm with you on this one. Wait to see what the lineup looks like and then make your decision there. But I would lean the plus money with Vegas if I had to.
Austin Matthews Hairlines saying looking like an under game. I would be at the 6. I would be worried holding an over ticket at minus 110 aside in this game.
Yeah.
Carolina just system-wise can just shut things down. Like, out of all the teams you think in the league, because of Brind'Amour, do you think their system can get past personnel issues?
Well, I was just going to say, you need the personnel, right, to execute the perfection in the system. And Carolina, they have a plug and play, right? I mean, they're not really focused on big name players. They're focused on guys that come in and can plug and play. And so that's what they trust, and that's what they put the or that's at least that they give the reins to Brind'Amour to do. And he's done a really good job at it. They were really good this year at the beginning of the year doing it. And it just seems like everything we thought teams were for the first 20, 30 games is sort of lulled right now, right? Because they call it the dog days of the season, right? It's the middle of the season where you feel like you've played so many games and you still feel like you've got so many left,
Yeah.
right? And then there's
And you're 2 weeks past that break too,
that
right?
break, and then you're also 3 weeks away from 3 weeks? No, you're about 3 or 4 weeks away from another extended break, right? With the Four Nations face-off break that the guys are gonna be getting. So it's the dog days right now.
Carolina at home this year, 17-6 straight up with a plus 1.3 goal differential per game. That is a big number. Power plays 24% versus an 88% PK. Yeah, the Four Nations condensed card. That's so funny. And we'll talk about it when it comes up, but there's Eichel assist, Stone Point on, there you go, 142. Yeah, there might be some ways to get creative on this. I wouldn't mind going like Stone, Eichel, Point, Vegas win if you really want to get greedy and want something more than that plus 120 Vegas money line. But everyone's talking about the Four Nations Cup, but it's like, okay, 3 games and you're done. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's three games over what, 7 to 10 days? I think it is.
Yeah, but the two games are what? The Wednesday and the Saturday, I believe, or the Thursday and the Saturday.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Dorofeev, Hurdle Point each is plus 278. That's from Pete Shepard. Appreciate it. And I just want to make sure that those guys are playing together at 5-on-5. And we'll wait to see the skate today before I go because I'm a donkey and I bet it this morning. Don't be like me. And then I read that Cassidy quote. He's like, "Yep, nothing cemented here. Gonna blow everything
Okay,
up."
so hold on a second.
Hold the phone.
It's just been reported that Freddie Anderson is ready to be activated off of the IR by the Hurricanes. His next appearance will be his 500th of his career. So could we see a Freddie Anderson return to the net tonight?
There's so many moving pieces now. All right, so honestly, if Freddie Anderson, if he does start, I think that pushes the favor. Like Carolina could move to minus 160, minus 165. They could get shorter. And I think, I don't know. I still don't like it. But like Freddie Anderson, like if Freddie Anderson's first game, like he could see 19 shots. Like a Freddie Anderson at home special, 19 shot, 1 goal, 18 of 19.
Yeah. No
I don't
kidding.
know. But if that's his 500 game, like that's a pretty special one, no?
Yeah. Milestone games are always pretty special for players. 100%.
2 games and we can't even find a bet on this second game. King of finding things to bet on, but I can't find it on this. Good thing I put assists instead of Grzelcyk ass plus 200. Thank you for pointing that out there in the chat. But that's it. I do like some second lines. I like the Buffalo second line. Don't be afraid to get greedy and add Peterka to that first one. And then switching things up for Pittsburgh. Hopefully they do have a skate today and they do have the power play because some beat reporters just don't tell you who's on the power play. Do your job. Tell us who's on the power play. So under saves market, Tim Powell, very good. I don't know if you have it at your book, total shots in this game. There might be 50 shots or less in this game. That's where I would set the number, somewhere around like 52. This is going to be a low event shooting game. Depends on who's goalie in Vegas because they got Chicago apparently tomorrow. So I would assume Samsonov goes. Mike Ray, under 6.5 guaranteed. Ain't nothing guaranteed, bud. You get that guarantee. First 3 shots are going in. I can guarantee that. That's for sure. It's hockey. but that's why you don't see me betting a lot of money line stuff. It's hockey's tough. You know it, right? Like,
yeah,
you're betting prices constantly. That's if there's one sport that you're betting prices more so than anything else, I think it's hockey because anything can happen. But that's it. It's Friday. It's still cold. Still sucks. I had to drive on the 410 yesterday at like 5 o'clock to baseball practice.
Ew. I read that tweet that you shared of the traffic.
Oh, yes. Kids baseball training has moved from Aaron to Derry and the 410. So into the city. I'm a country guy. I don't like the drives into the city, pal. Too much work.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. I had a slow drive home last night too with all the snow, but
Yeah. All right.
I
Enjoy
made
the
it.
family this weekend, pal.
Thanks,
You got
buddy. You
lots of
too.
things on the go. Enjoy your Bills. It's going to be the coldest. It's going to be cold. I don't want anybody to go there, but should
Let's
be
hope.
an absolute great week in football. I'll be on Before You Bet today with Joe, dropping all my plays there. We dropped the Blitz plays yesterday. No, sorry, we dropped a Blitz plays on Wednesday. We got some early markets there, and I'll be making sure to pay attention to the Vegas skate, the Carolina skate, and hopefully drop some plays that we can add to this card. That's it. Great show, great week. Sorry about the Eklund point. That should have stuck. But we move on. NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Josh Ingles, Carlo Colaiacovo on covers. Appreciate it.
Ciao.